Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space, and coming to you with a art journal page. Really enjoying art journaling lately. I'm dabbling in a bit of scrapbooking as well, so lots of variety on the channel. So just brairing down some gesso in my altered wine book. So I'm working in an altered book, hence why there's text on the page. My book I've currently split into two pieces. I don't know whether I think this is when I split it, because it fell out of its cover or busted its spine, and I decided to split into two smaller books, about an inch thick, so I can then cover them. So this layout is based on a class kit. In 2013 or 14, I subscribed to a class kit. The company is now shut down. It was called Blue Bazzar. I think it was in South Australia. And every 6 weeks they put together a class kit with instructions and materials and sent it to you. It was about $50. It was really cool when I was first starting in mixed media. But I was busy with young kids, and Alexis was young then. And I never got around to it. So I'm slowly going through them, and I decided to film this one. It's based on, this is about the second last box that I've got to do. It's based on the layout that was in the kit, but I have changed it a lot because I believe theirs was a canvas. Because they started off doing canvases, then they started doing journal pages. So the paints I just showed you are Martha Stewart that come in the box. I don't particularly like them. I've never really seen them available in Australia. They have like a satin or a shiny finish or a glossy finish. These I believe are like a more matte of a finish, but I have had some that are a bit glossy. They're a good acrylic paint, but I probably wouldn't have bought them unless they were in the kit. The kit was good. The kits were good. It sort of exposed you to different materials. So it's not my idea for the layout. So I can't take credit for that. As I said, I did change it quite a bit. So that's just my junk mail book that I wipe off extra paint in, and I've started to work in that book as well. So it's handy to have when you art journaling. Either have another art journal, have another book, and anytime you paint out and have extra, just pop it in the other book, and every time you have a stencil out, just put that in your book. So you're creating more background pages that you can come back and use later. So just giving that a dry. I should have actually went and cut out all the drying time, but it doesn't take long. As you can see, there's a bit of a shine on the page. This paint gets a bit of a shine to it, and it will stick together if you don't put a coat of stuff on it. And I've actually put a coat of neutral shoe polish, and that stops the pages from sticking together in your journal, especially if you're using acrylic. So this is a green Pitt pen. I believe these come in this kit box or a different box. I have no idea. I want to get some more of these, but I just haven't got around to it yet. Next time I do an American order. So the Pitt pen is an Indian ink, so it's a permanent ink, and it will go onto any shiny surface. And it's handy because before it sets on a non-porous surface, so on top of the paint, you can smudge it. If you put it just on regular paper, it will soak into the paper. But because the paint sort of acts as a barrier, you can smudge it, and I'll do that later. So I come with more Martha Stewart paints. Probably not a paint I'd purchase outright, but they come in the kit, so we're using them up. We got quite a few. It must have been their paint of choice for this company. So just using that wipe up book as a paint palette. I do that a lot as well. A, I don't have to clean it up, and B, any extra paint just goes on the page. So just making some blobby flowers in the red and orange, and then I mix the red and orange together to get a third tone as well. So just freehanding those. I was going to draw them out, then I thought, no, they're pretty easy. I will just freehand them. In a couple of spots, the Indian ink mustn't have been, or the green marker Indian ink mustn't have been set properly because I did disturb some of that marker, but I'll fix that in a minute. So welcome to all our new subbies while I'm doing the repetitive piece. We've had quite a few come on lately, which is fantastic. I share this channel with my 9-year-old daughter, so she does quite a few videos as well from art journaling. We've done a couple of cooking videos, which is highly hilarious, and she does a few other bits and pieces as well. As she's only 9.5, I won't allow her to have her own channel yet, so she has to put up with Mummy on her channel. So just using the extra paint on one of the pages in that Use It Up journal, and that's creating great backgrounds, and then I will come over the top and use that as a background eventually. I've done 2 pages in that book so far. I don't believe any of them gone live on YouTube yet. They're coming, I promise. Got a lot of videos to sit here and edit. So just giving that paint a dry. I tend to go through phases. I will sit there and film a bunch of videos, then I will take a weekend and I will go and edit a bunch of videos, like 10 or 15, and schedule them all for the month, and then I sort of go, oh, I've got videos scheduled for the month, I've got lots of time, and then I won't do them for 3 weeks, and then I'll be like, got to do some more videos. So I'm hoping to get more organised, but if you know me, that word and I do not go in the same sentence. Just showing you some die cuts there. They're old K & Company die cuts, and I actually took them to my scanner and printer and colour photocopied them onto cardstock because I wanted to use them more than once. I do that a fair bit, take things to my colour photocopier and scan them and photocopy them, because Alexis usually wants to use the same product I do. Even though most often Alexis gets the original, I get to use a copy, but half the time you can't even tell. Especially with these die cuts, you can't tell after you fussy cut them which one was the original and which one's a photocopy. So just putting some divining black lines around my flowers with an Inktense pencil. I'm in the market for a Stabilo All, and they're being a bit elusive here in Australia. So the Inktense pencil, it's water reactive, and when you activate it, it's ink based, so it will dry permanent, not like just a normal watercolor pencil that will dry and reactivate with water. And I believe this Stabilo All is permanent when it dries as well. The Inktense pencil, it's a bit more harder, and it didn't really want to go over the paint, so I had to be a bit careful I didn't rip any of the paint. But apparently the Stabilo All is like a bit more creamier. I haven't used one, haven't seen one in real life yet. Just by watching YouTube videos, it seems to be a bit more smoother and writes over everything, excuse me. So just drying that up. So just trying to give these solid blocks of colour a bit more dimension, a bit more interest. So I grabbed my white Sharpie pen, paint pen. Again, this one came in the class kit. I don't think it was actually this kit. And I cannot find another one. I so want another one of these. I even went to Officeworks the other day. Didn't actually take the pen in, but tried to describe it, and the guy looks at me and goes, what? So next time I go to Officeworks, I will take this pen in. See if it's got a code number on it, because this is the first white paint pen I love. And it's the first one that doesn't actually blob everywhere and spill big blobs. And I've had it for quite a few years and it's still really good. So just adding some circles and dots and things, just not into every flower, but just trying to make them a bit more interesting. Some of them I will be partially covering up, but the others will be just the flowers. Sorry about the rocking of the book. In the next month or so, I am looking at changing my setup. My camera film is set up, not that you'll see much of a difference, but at the moment my trestle, I work on a trestle table, which won't change. Oh, excuse me. But my tripod sits 2 legs on the trestle and 1 leg on the windowsill. And you're probably wondering why. Because it gives me more room on the trestle if I stick 1 leg on the windowsill. But I'm actually looking at building a tripod that sits on the floor, and then when I wobble my desk, it won't actually wobble the camera. And I would like to get the camera a bit more over the top of my workspace. But looking at this video, it looks like it gets over the top fairly well. So I went and fussy cut all these die cuts off camera because I thought you don't need to see me doing that because it's very boring and repetitive. And a lot of times when I'm fussy cutting, because I have low vision, I say that in quite a few of my videos, I'm not allowed to even drive a car, so I don't have vision for a license. Seriously, I don't see that as a problem being on the road, but all you drivers are probably laughing at me and go, yeah, that's a serious problem if you can't see very far. And Vic Roads think it's a problem and won't give me a driver's license. I think it's very rude, Vic Roads, for not giving me a driver's license. Off on a tangent, back to the art journal page, Melinda. So just sticking a variety of die cuts on, some flowers, some birds. Just using a glue stick, and I am doing it on that white sheet of paper so I didn't get any glue on the scrapbook page. Those sort of purple leafy, like purple daisy petals, actually I cut off a flower. So I sometimes cut die cuts into many pieces before sticking them down. And I was trying to get a bit of depth, putting some of the flowers right down the bottom with the, I'll think of it in a minute, toadstools. I'm sorry, dinner's not sitting well at the moment. Yeah, so trying to create some depth down the bottom, and because there wasn't much depth in the background, I should have put some more texture in the background, but I'll fix that in a minute. So just cutting out some butterflies as well to stick on the page. As they are printed onto just cardstock with an inkjet printer, you just have to be fairly careful because the ink is water reactive, so it will run. So that's why I'm using a glue stick underneath, and I'm only sticking on top of paint. Now, if I'd had a gloss or a medium like a matte gel or something underneath, I'd have to matte gel them down as well. And if you do it fairly quickly and don't scrub over it a lot, you can sort of get away with it. I have my eyes on a colour laser printer. I had a huge wish list of things I'd like, but money. Does that stop most of you with wish lists? It certainly does me lately. One day, but I'm sort of can't justify having two printers if I only use it every so often. But I believe I can go in and photocopy at the library for like 50 cents a sheet, which is cheaper than Officeworks, because Officeworks in Australia to print a piece of paper that's coloured in A4, it's $1 a sheet. But I believe I can colour photocopy at the library for 50 cents. I read the other day. I have to check it out. Back to the layout. Sorry it's late and I'm waffling today. So just going around the die cuts, and you can see me smudging with my finger. This Faber-Castell brush pit pen will stay wet. It's got India ink in it, so it stays wet for 30 seconds to a minute on a not porous surface, and you can smudge it, which looks really nice. So the smudging sort of ties the pieces together and doesn't look like they're just stuck on, and sort of gives them a bit more depth as well. So just smudging certain pieces around. I could have gone around with my black Inkjet pencil as well and smudged it with water, but I thought I would use the green pit pen because I've got it. I am after a black pit pen too. I see I would like a whole set of them, which would be lovely, but they're like a few $100s. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could just go shopping and money wasn't a problem? That would be awesome. Okay, what am I doing now? Oh, that particular butterfly did not want to stick on, so I grabbed out some Matisse gloss gel. It's really thick and it's great for sticking down like heavier weighted cardstock. For some reason, the glue just would not stick that butterfly down, so I got the better of it and I stuck it. I usually only use that with heavier cardstock or fabric or material. The Matisse gel gloss medium, because it's a gloss, I don't really like it. I'm wanting to get a heavy matte gel. Again, on my list, but I'm trying to do with what I want. This video is turning into a whole wish list, isn't it? So I decided the background was a bit plain, I didn't like it. So I thought, what can I do to it? So I grabbed just a black fine liner and decided to scribble some circles and some dots. It just needed something to fill in the background, but not. I wanted something to fill in the background, but not overpower it as well. So I think I'm just about finished. There we go, just about finished. I'm not sure whether I bring the book up and show you closer. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.